Hey, everybody. It's 19 Cats and Counting with Rita Reimers and your co host, Linda Hall. I love cats. We all know that. I also love reading and especially children's books. My greatest heartbreak was when all my kids were too old for me to go to the Scholastic Book Fair anymore. So we have a lady today, Darlene Tallman, who has combined cats and children's books. And if you want to hear more about this, and you do, we will be right back after this commercial. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. It's your co-host, Linda Hall. Do I have my hostess with the mostest, Rita?
I'm here. And I'm happy to say that Mr. Scooter, one of my newly adopted senior kitties, is in the room with us today. Although I don't know if he'll come on camera, but he's just finally starting to get a little bit affectionate. His sister's been for a while.
Yeah, patience is a virtue.
That's
the biggest thing with cats. I think you need that number one. So you turned me on to our guest and told me all about her. Tell us about how you know Darlene, and let's get her joining us.
Well, it's let's see if I can get this right. My best friend growing up was Lori Vella Reed now. Our moms were best friends, so our moms were pregnant with us at the same time. Darlene is Lori's cousin, I guess you'd say cousin-in-law, because however you want to say it. Lori's aunt is married to a man who is Darlene's father, the brother of Darlene's father. Is that right?
Okay, Darlene's uncle.
Mother, my mother.
Your mother.
Oh, your mother. Okay.
Gotcha. So you know what's weird is it's not changing like who it's showing. It's right on you, Linda. It usually changes when the other person talks. It's weird.
Yeah, mine's right on you, so I don't know.
Oh, very odd. Anyway, right. We'll see. We'll find out how it looks when we're done.
Yes,
we've just newly started recording these in Zoom. We used to use Skype. But anyway, let's introduce Darlene and let's talk about her Mischief Kitties.
Oh Lord.
I just reread Mischief Kitties this morning because it had been a while. The one with the vampires.
Oh Lord, yes. My vampire hunter.
Where did you get the idea to write these books?
Okay, so I have a friend, an author friend in Australia named Cherry Shepherd. And we were conversing in Messenger one day, and she said her son Alex wanted to write stories about their kitties, their three kitties, Sammy, Callie, and Angel. Mm-hmm. And she said, what do you think about maybe your cats moving in next to my cats and they can go on adventures? And I was like, that would be a lot of fun. And then she said, wait, I know. Why don't you write those with us? She said, Alex has all these ideas. And so the first book, Vampires, Ghosts, and New Friends, Oh My, we set the premise up where of course, we know I have more kitties now, but at the time I had 6. Moved in next door to that household with 3 kitties.
Okay, I was wondering where that idea came from.
Yes.
Okay, so it's real life.
Yes. And I mean, Harry, the self-proclaimed star, because he's the one that does all the talking on Facebook and all that other kind of stuff. He's always been about must protect mama. So when Gracie Lou who is a little bit of an instigator in real life too, she kind of sits back and watches what's going on.
So you still have Gracie Lou? I wasn't sure.
I do. The only one I've lost over the years was my Nabisco. When I was out of town that one time, my neighbor was supposed to watch him. She sent her son over, and he allowed my deaf kitty to get out, and I have no idea how long she was out.
I remember.
I spent weeks.
I know.
Back and forth to the shelter. All the vets had pictures up everywhere.
Ugh, so frustrating.
That's torment, Darlene.
It was because she was. I know she knew she was special needs because she couldn't hear or anything, but she was the sweetest little thing. And I had kind of taught her like a little bit of like, if I did this and she was watching, she would come over and curl up, and she had her little spots that she liked to do her hidey hole. She didn't realize that she, as a cat, a female calico, no less, that she was supposed to be stuck up and she was supposed to ignore me the rest of her life. The first night I got her, they told me, okay, she was bullied in the foster home and she's probably not going to want to be around you.
Mhm.
So when I brought her home, who did I have at the time? I think I only had, I had Timmy, Gracie Lou, they were still kittens. I had Chance and Chloe. So when I brought her in and I showed her, where the litter box and the food and the water and all that kind of stuff was, and I introduced her to my dog that I had at the time, Maggie, and I put her up on the cat tree, and I told the other ones, because they were all hovering around, I said, now listen, she has not had a good life. We need to be nice to her. She might not be friendly to you guys right away. Just, it'll be okay.
Right.
I woke up the next morning to a cat sleeping on my shoulder, purring in my ear.
Aww.
Okay, she realized I was her person and loved that baby. So she
Oh,
obviously is not part
Gosh,
of
I'm
the
so
Mischief
sorry.
Kitties.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know how many tears I cry. I mean,
I know. I had one get out of my house, out of my screened-in porch. She slid it open, and I never found him, even though I looked and looked. So I know it's just the worst not knowing. And I made peace with it by saying to myself, somebody must have found him. That's why I can't find him. So I just have to think of it that way.
And I've got a friend, and I don't know how much a lot of people believe, but she said she had a dream one night, and my dad was holding the cat and said, let Dar know I've got Nabisco. So, mom and dad have the baby, and she's happy. And I just hate it because of all the cats to get out of the house. You know what I'm saying?
I know. It had to be that one.
It had to be the one that was deaf, that wouldn't have heard anybody calling, that wouldn't hear danger coming. So yeah, I miss her terribly.
You're making Linda cry.
I'm sorry, Linda. I mean,
No.
because how I got her was I had gotten, who did I get? I was volunteering with a different rescue than Happy Tails at the time. And they reached out to me and they said, hey, we know you're really good. Because I got Gracie Lou off of death row. She should have been already put to sleep.
I've had a few like that too. Yep.
Yep. And Timmy was supposed to be put down because he had a real bad URI. And that rescue transported him 4 hours to get him to me so that I could foster him till he was well. 3 or 4 rounds of antibiotics. And I called and I'm like, because I was getting ready to move back in with my sister. And she said, find out what they want to do about Timmy. And she said, well, I was kind of hoping you'd keep him. And I'm like, I can't afford an adoption fee. I'm literally getting ready to move into my sister's house. I am broke as a skunk. She said, Merry Christmas. So I'm a foster failure in multiple ways. But
I've never tried it because I know I would be, but yeah, Rita too is a foster failure. We understand that. Yeah.
Yep. Especially the death row kitties, because you figure they've been through so much. They've already been from home to home to home. You don't want to uproot them, especially when they make friends with your existing kitties, and you're like, well, that's it. They're not going anywhere.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, and Harriet adopted me. And so when we wrote the first book, and we really did, when we were writing them, we thought kids ages 5 to 12. When I tell you that we have adults that read them,
I believe it
just as much. I mean, I've had people inbox me and say, okay, so I don't want to go into all my personal life or anything, but I see group therapy. I go to group therapy, and sometimes we read books, and I had read this and I read it to them, and Darlene, we were all laughing so hard we were dying. And I was like, well, then good. Our mission, what we set out to do a cute little story.
Right.
And then I apologize because I'm at my friend's house and all
that's
the dogs.
okay.
You're good.
Over here, it's dogs because her husband is allergic to cats. So, I have Bosco with me. My Bosco, my 11-pound appendage.
Yeah. How did you get first tell me, who do you have now in your kitty household, and how did you get them to accept the dog?
I've got Chance and Chloe. Those are the ones that I left when I left the house in 2011. Those are the 2 I left.
Mm-hmm.
They adopted Gracie Lou. Of course, Timmy was a foster failure. Gracie and Timmy they were probably born about the same time, so they're both the same age.
Yeah.
And then let's see, after Timmy, Harry adopted me, and then I fostered Ducky Wucky's mama. She was pregnant. They pulled her from the pound. She was a stray found on the streets, and Vicky, at the time, I was living by myself, and I had a bathroom I could use. And she's like, Dar, can you keep Ellie? And I was like, okay, sure. And Ellie, because she got her so late in the pregnancy, you know how that is. She had 4 kittens, 2 survived.
Aw.
And they were born on Easter Sunday in 2017. So that was Ducky. His name started out as Ducky, but I added Wucky. That's his
I
name.
like it. I like it. I
And,
do that too. I have Simba Dimba Doo, so I do that too.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
and Lillian was a little buff bobcat, but females are kind of funny, y'all know that. I mean,
Yes.
sometimes they're attentive and sometimes they're not, but I've found
Yes.
that little boys and Ducky was supposed to have been completely vetted out and then put up at PetSmart for adoption, blah blah blah. And what happened was I went in one day to check on them,
Yeah.
and he wasn't too old, maybe a few weeks old. Anyway, he slipped out. He was old enough to be running around, eyes open. He slipped out and ran down my hallway.
Oh,
and there was
gosh.
Chance, who is about 12-ish pounds or so,
Uh-huh.
standing there. There's this little fluff monster. And he stood there and his tail was up. And it was like he stood there and went, ta-da, here I am. And I thought, if you have no
Oh,
fear, you're going to be
you're
there.
here.
So we got Ducky Wucky.
Love
then
it.
I got, who's newest? Rebel McPebble. But
Oh, Rebel
dog.
McPebble. That's right.
Yes, Rebel McPebble, the boy, the girl, the boy that turned into a girl. Yes.
Yeah. I've had a couple of those.
And
Me
you
too.
know, I would have never known she was a female. She never went into heat. Never went into heat.
Wow.
So imagine my surprise when I get a call from the vet and they said, we've got a problem with Rebel McPebble. And you know, I had dropped Rebel and Bosco off to be fixed. And it was like, holy crap, what on earth? And they said, he is a she. And I went, well, spay her then because I don't need kittens. There's enough kittens in the world. So we took care of that. But
Yep.
when it came to Bosco, my friend, and she's a friend, she's also read my books and she's gone to me with book signings
Right.
as my personal assistant and stuff. She and her husband have had, litters of pups. They're Doxy Doodles.
Right.
And my friend Liberty was getting one, and her other friend was getting one for her husband for Christmas. And she's like, Dar, you need one too. And I'm like, oh, what the heck am I going to do with a
My
dog?
cats would throw me out if I brought a dog.
Right.
I've got
right.
9, at the time I had 8. And then of course I got, Rebel in between that. And that was a total another story. And
Oh,
I saw the pictures of the babies and I picked Bosco out, and I was like, well, gosh, I don't know how he's going to handle this. I have no clue. And because him and Rebel literally are probably about the same age, they were born about the same time.
Uh-huh.
I don't know that Bosco necessarily knows he's a dog
No.
all the time. He doesn't worry about, they'll hiss at him and stuff, like if they're in their spots on the bed and he lumbers up and tries to get next to me, but he has no problems, but burrowing in under the blankets. I'm his mama too.
Aw,
He snuggles up with the kitties.
I love it.
yeah.
Some are more.
I was gonna
okay
say, did the
others.
introductions go
They
well?
actually went kind of well. Of course, the older kitties, they stood up on things and they hissed at him when he first came in because he was running around all willy-nilly and all that kind of stuff. The only thing, he's not food aggressive. So
good.
they eat out of his food. They, he'll sometimes grab
Yeah.
theirs. And I'm like, well, everybody's
that.
mixed up now anyhow. So who cares?
Linda has a
Uh-huh,
dog
uh-huh.
too that thinks,
And
and your
yes.
dog doesn't know she's a dog either.
No,
I
that's
mean-
what I said. Yeah. Dog's living with 11 cats. How is
but-
she supposed to know that? Yeah, exactly. Uh-huh.
We're all
they-
multi-cat mamas.
They even groom him sometimes, which
I
find
love that.
hysterical.
Yeah.
I
mean,
love
it's like-
that.
It's like,
Okay.
and he looks at him, and then like Chloe is my self-professed queen, and of course, when she's had enough of him, she'll haul off and she'll just whack him on the nose, and he looks at
Sure.
me like, "Look, you ticked the queen off. I cannot help you in this instance."
Exactly.
But she scares me too, and I'm the human in the house.
Right? Yeah.
It's like, what in the world?
So did you get the dog before you moved or after? What was your
After.
move like? Oh, after. Okay. Because
Okay,
I
so-
moved with 17 and that was a nightmare.
Well, yeah, and you moved from Cali all the way over to.
I did to North
Yes.
Carolina, and then I bought my house here in South Carolina. So that was a little shorter move, but the cross country one was 4.5 days of pure and utter hell.
Oh yes. Oh, yes. I was fortunate because Melanie was willing to go with me. So I bought those big collapsible cages, and Libby's the only one. They're getting better with her because she has decided she's going to be a mama's girl.
Uh-huh.
So every morning she meows at my gate, and because I have a gate to keep Bosco from tearing life up while I'm sleeping.
Right.
Right.
He can tear my bedroom up because it's a whole lot easier because I can close the door, you know what I mean? And so when I wake up in the morning, she comes to the gate and she meows until I let her in, and she gets up on the bed. And there've been a few fisticuffs with the others, but I'm like, you know what? Y'all have lived together for almost 6 years. Y'all need to suck it up and go because I'm not getting rid of none of you. Okay. So the day before I left, I took them all to the vet and we worked on everybody getting updated on shots and all of that other stuff. And they were going to give me, they put something, a transdermal on their ears the morning I left.
Oh,
So,
good.
like a tranquilizer type thing.
Yeah, but they weren't really out. You know,
Yeah.
they weren't like out like when they have surgery or anything like that. They were just really mellow.
I used
So-
Rescue Remedy because there was no way I was taking 17 cats to the vet to get medicine. No.
Yeah,
Here's
that
a
was
bill.
well. I mean, I had all their shots too. Plus, I had to put Maggie, my dog, that I thought was going to make it. I had to
Oh,
put-
that's right.
yes. I was like devastated. So everybody, I get them all done, and then I go back the next morning to pick them up with the carriers. Well, they had their carriers there, so we get them all loaded up. They help. Literally, I had 2 people helping me load them in my car and get them just right. And then I headed up and I picked up my friend Melanie. And the one funny thing is, Chance, I didn't know one of the carriers because I had 4 carriers and then like a regular cat carrier.
Yeah.
And the one that Chance was in and Ducky Wucky were in, the zipper was busted. And I didn't know that. So here I am driving. I'm driving like 80 miles down the interstate. And all of a sudden I see this little orange and white.
Oh, no.
What on earth? Well, I couldn't pull over right away.
Sure.
So Chance meandered. Ducky hid in a little crevice. Chance meandered his way up to the front seat. And I'm like, this is so dangerous. He's standing on my thigh looking out the window while I'm driving.
Oh, my gosh.
So I finally get to a rest area. I stop, I pull in. This is before I get to Mel. And I'm like, all right, buddy, let's get you guys set. Well, I still didn't know that the zipper was busted.
Uh-huh.
It had like multiple zippers, like one on the top. One
Oh,
on the side.
I
yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. So I get them back in there. I kiss them. I say hi to everybody else. Everybody else is just kind of like, yeah, ma, whatever. Just do whatever. So I go back up, I get to Melanie. We were meeting like right in Nashville because then we were going to take that straight shot down through Arkansas and everything.
Uh-huh.
So by the time I get there, Chance has escaped again. Now this time I at least have him in the passenger seat and he's curled up and I'm driving, petting him, going, this is still not healthy and still not, but, I mean, he wasn't upset. He was purring. He was
At
calm.
least he didn't go under your feet to the brake pedal and stuff. That would have been.
That's the fear.
disaster.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know.
When
I
I
know,
adopted
so-
Paws, I had a soft side carrier and he managed to get that zipper undone. And I'm driving and I wasn't driving 80 miles an hour. I don't even know. I mean, like you said that. And I was like, I don't know how I would, because I was driving nice and slow down a country road and I've got this cat and I'm like, holy crap, pull over. This cat-
So we get up, I meet up with Mel and her husband and I roll down the window and I said, okay, don't just open up the back because I have 2 cats loose. So I get out and I maneuver. I've got both cats. We figure out that the one that's broken, it's broken. So
Oh.
now we do some adjustments and instead of having 2, 2, 2, 2 and 1, I now have 3, 3. I knew who was going to work better with each other.
Yeah.
And then of course we had to get her suitcases in there because she was staying with me and the whole 9 yards. But he's like Mr. Tetris and he got it all done. So we get going again. And you can't stop overnight because who in the world's going to allow you to have that many kitties?
I did. I lied. I went to Motel 6 and told them I had a cat. I didn't tell them I had 17. And I asked for a room in the back because I said I don't want to hear the traffic noise. And I made sure that I left everything really clean so that they wouldn't know that I
Right.
had more than just the one cat in there.
Yeah, because
I'm
you would have
just-
only been there overnight.
And that was
Just see
hard.
her like taking these cages in, like, don't anybody see me. She
we have to
ran
do a
back
whole
and forth with
show just
17
about
cats.
that. It was a nightmare.
That would have been fun.
We have to take a little break, but we'll be right
Oh.
back to finish up the story and then talk more about Mischief Kitties and your other books as well.
Okay.
Be right back.
All right.
And welcome back to 19 Cats and Counting. If you're just tuning in, we're talking to my friend Darlene Tallman about, well, right now we're talking about how she moved cross country with all her cats. And we're also talking about this children's book series she writes, The Mischief Kitties, starring her own kitty cats. And we'll also talk about the other book genre she writes for. But let's finish up talking about your move.
Okay, so I moved in July. So, hot, hazy, humid.
Sure.
So whenever we would stop for gas or anything, or even for restroom breaks, one of us would go in first while the other one just kind of checked to make sure everybody was okay. Because the vet had said they really didn't need to worry about food and water or anything like that.
Yeah.
Nobody was acting antsy, like, oh my gosh, I got to go potty or any of that. Because they had limited their food intake the night before, which I thought was great for me.
Yeah.
I didn't worry so much about them wetting or anything like that. So I put pads down in the thing. And we managed to pull into my house, and it was 11:30 at night.
Yikes.
Now, my friend that lives here, when my refrigerator got delivered, her husband was over there, and they had all that stuff on. But we get in the house. Of course, I set up all I had. I didn't think about bringing like a real litter box. All I had was the little miniature ones.
Oh my gosh.
All of my cats are decent sizes. So some of them weren't exactly hitting the box itself, but at that point, I was like, you know what, babies, mama isn't even mad right now. I just set a bunch of them up.
I'm sure they all had to go. They all had to be.
I put food and water down, and I looked at Melanie and I said, we don't have any. She drinks Pepsi and I drink Diet Coke. I said, we have none of that, but there's a Walmart not too far from here. So there we were at almost midnight going to Walmart after I had been driving since 8 o'clock that morning.
Oh my gosh.
I went from Eastern to Central.
Right.
But I'm not used to, when I go from Texas to Georgia, I am not used to doing it all in one trip. I usually break it up. So I was like, I'm paying for this tomorrow. I know I am, but my baby needs stuff. So I bought a bigger litter box. I don't even think I bought a litter box. I think what I did is I bought 2 totes, because I was like, you know what? I know my other litter boxes are coming. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on a box. I can
those work great. My friend Sally Foote, Dr. Sally Foote, she has a video showing you how to turn those into great litter boxes. Those are the best, really.
Oh, game changer for me was the litter robot.
I have one. I haven't set it up yet. Tell me about the litter robot.
Okay, so I bought one, and it's actually got an app where you can set the app up on your phone.
Really?
Yes, and it'll tell you when it's ready to be, when the drawer is full and you need to empty it. But what I like about it, you put in, there's a fill level, and you put in the amount of litter. It sets itself. Cat goes in and uses it. You get a message that the cat sensor timer's on once they're out, because it's sensing that, okay, nobody's in here, and then it runs through a cycle, and the clean litter or the loose litter drops into a little bin. Everything that's clumped falls down into the waste bag below. It cycles back through and it evens it out again.
I've got to set mine up. I don't know where to put it. Is it loud when it cycles? Because I wanted to put it in my bedroom, because my cats insist they must have litter boxes in my bedroom.
I would put it in. I would put it in there. I started with one. I've got 4 now. And
I would love to change. What about, like, I've got a lead butt cat that's 18 pounds. I know.
Should be able to. The hole in the front hole, I know you probably can't.
But she has to go up to get into it, right? There's a step, though.
There is like a little ramp that comes with it. Yes. So, and what's funny is, at night, it has like a little night light that comes on. Like the cats need a night light. Whatever.
No.
But I think it's cute. And
it is.
Rebel McPebble likes to stand on the step and she watches it move.
Okay. So this is job for me before next. Well, this is Friday. So before Monday, I am going to get that darn thing set up, because I bought it ages ago, and I would love to change to all of those. But I've got 17 litter boxes right now. It's not fun, let me tell you.
Well, that's the biggest thing, is because you don't have to do anything until the thing says the drawer is full and you need to empty it, and you pull it open, you open it up, you tie off the bag, you put a new bag in, and then you run it through a clean cycle.
You have 4 of them for how many cats do you have? 7?
I think I have 9 now.
9?
Wait, do I have 8 or 9? Let's see. Chance, Chloe.
And they're bigger though, so they're like, I would say one of them is probably the equivalent of like 2 litter boxes.
Yeah, they're bigger size, but you don't need a whole lot of litter. There's like a fill line inside. It's not like how you've got, because the only thing.
Do you know how much litter I go through? Fresh Step, listen to me. You need to sponsor me, because I go through a lot of your litter. Yes, I do. Unscented.
I've got
Yep.
the Fresh Step, but I also started using it. I think it's Absorbex.
Oh yeah, I
Zorbax.
was using that, but I get so much tracking all over the house, the powder, but maybe I wouldn't in the Little Robot,
It's
right?
not as bad. I mean, we do have to sweep up a little bit. I've got to get a better mat, but Litter Robot has a mat that traps the litter when they
Nice.
come out, and then you can take it outside and just kind of like dust
Yep.
it off or whatever. Game changer. The first one I put in, I still had two litter maids, I think, going, and I noticed the difference when I walked in my house immediately because Litter Maid did the same thing. It's scoops, and so you shouldn't theoretically have the cat odor. Now with 4 of them, I was like, game changer.
Okay. This is
Awesome.
what I'm working on. This is what I'm working towards.
Yes,
Litter Robot, do you want to sponsor me?
Yeah.
right?
Fresh Step and
Yes.
Litter Robot.
That's
waiting
right.
for
What a
you.
pair.
And I mean, it took them a minute, before they got used to it. But like the latest one I put, because Libby likes to sleep. She likes to sleep where my laundry area is. So I've got a little hammock cat tree for her. And then I've got, the Litter Robot right there.
Sure.
But the other kitties have no problem. If they got to go in the middle of the night, they just get down and they go out and they go use their potty. And it's like on the wall where my bedroom is, and I don't hear it.
That's what I'm worried about. But then
Nice.
again, Linda keeps telling me I'm half deaf, so I wouldn't hear it anyway.
She
Right.
is. You can talk to her standing 2 feet from her and she doesn't hear it. So I don't know why she thinks
What?
that Litter Robot is
What?
exactly.
Well, she was trying to tell me something the other day, and I made you repeat it 3 times. I'm like, what? What?
And I was
God.
laughing hysterically the entire time.
I know we've
uh-huh.
gotten off the topic of
Yeah.
it fits
Yeah.
because we're talking about multi cats. But Mischief Kitties, you've got 3 books out. Is there going to be a 4th?
We've got one going. It's called The Mischief Kitties Go on Vacation, not Vacation.
Vacation.
And
More vampires or no?
well, I don't know if they're going to find any vampires or not,
Ah,
but they are going to Gulf Shores, Alabama. And of course, they did their research. So they found out that there's sharks there. So now he's worried about sharks and Mama, like Mama's going to go into the ocean, whatever. And so, but that's how they find Ducky Wucky, and Angel had a couple of kitties. That's how they're going to find the new kitties and bring them into the fold. But like the You Can't Take Our Chicken, you saw that they've already added in a neighborhood dog, Milton.
right.
Uh-huh.
I love it.
And the Great Glitter Caper, that was actually based on a real story that happened to one of my friend's cats.
Really? I
Yes.
haven't read that one yet. Tell us about it.
Chloe's-
Without giving it all away, because you want people to buy
Yeah.
the book.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Chloe and Callie are self-professed queens. They are sunning themselves one day when Chloe says, "Come see this." Her mama left her craft room door open.
Oh.
So they get in there, and glitter is involved, and boas, which Timmy wants to send to his sweet Citali. And
Is he ever going to meet her?
probably, well, not in real life, but he might
No,
at some
in the
point,
book.
but possibly in the book, because
Ooh.
Harry and his bestest friend forever, Jesse, they keep adding animals for my friend Angie's farm. I'm like, my God, you two are cats. The best thing you do is you lay around and sleep all the time,
Right.
But they're a lot of fun to write. I mean, I'm not going to even
I
bother with
bet.
that. They are a ton of fun to
This
write.
is great.
And
What the other genre you write for? You write romance books. So
right.
it's how you can. It's awesome that you can write in 2 different genres like that.
It's
Do they
fun.
ever cross over? Do you have cats in your romance books?
Oh yes, Harry and Nabisco have been in a book.
Love it.
Most of my cats have been in my books in some capacity. Everybody always has an animal of some sort.
Love it.
So yes, Bosco hasn't quite made his way into any books yet. He will. He's a pain in the
So
butt.
the romance series, what's it called?
Well, gosh, I've got several. I've got
Okay.
a bunch of standalones. They're more small town contemporaries. And then I've right in the motorcycle club genre.
Uh-huh.
And I've got 2 series in that. One has 3 books, and it's probably going to have 2 or 3 more next year. And then the other one's going to have 8 books. I'm working on book 3 right now. And then I co-write with my best friend Liberty. And we've got one series that's complete with 7 books. It's Motorcycle Club, but it has 3 spin-offs, actually 4 now. So
Awesome.
This is so cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like us, Linda, because I write some of my own stuff, and then Linda and I, there's a couple books we want to collaborate on, which will be awesome, about pet sitting, cat sitting, and some of the
oh, Lord.
stories we've come across you wouldn't believe.
We got stories.
Oh, I
Stories.
know
We
you've
got
had some-
stories. Well, what's sad is like the experience you have with your cat sitter, letting your cat out. We haven't had that exact experience, but we've had some strange things happen.
I mean,
Mostly with this clients. We scared our sitters within an inch of their life if they ever let a cat get outside and get loose.
Oh, I bet.
Oh
I
yeah.
bet. I
So-
mean,
Oh yeah.
That did
Yeah.
never happen.
my babies, you know, they, with me having my roommate now, that's been a blessing because I don't have to worry, you know, when I
Yeah.
go, which of course, you know, with the pandemic, I haven't gone on any book signings since.
Yeah, that's awful.
2019.
How do you promote your books without going to your signings? Just Facebook.
Facebook. I think one of my personal assistants might be on Instagram or Twitter or something, so they might share every once in a while. If it crosses my mind, to open up my Twitter account and put up something, you know. but-
I'm so bad about Twitter. I'm really great on Facebook and Instagram, sort of, but Twitter, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to share things over there.
yeah, trust me,
uh,
I know.
It's very difficult.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping we all get to travel again soon, because I always liked hearing about your trips.
Oh, I've always had. I mean, I've gotten to go to Australia twice.
Oh my
actually got to meet-
gosh.
Both times I actually got to see the lady that I co-wrote with on the Mischief Kitties Cherry, and I got to meet her kids.
Awesome.
So I got to meet Alex, you know, the other mastermind of
Right.
Domestic Kitties. And it was one of the most awesome experiences ever.
Oh, I'd love to go
and-
to Australia.
I went twice.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
you know, they opened them up the borders and international flying again. I'm supposed to go to a signing over there in 2022. So,
Interesting. I have
know-
some followers in Dubai. I don't know if I would want to travel there or not, but you never know.
Oh, I've
You never
heard
know.
Dubai is amazing.
That's what I've
it's
heard.
Amazing.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Surfer's Paradise was the first place. The hardest part, the first trip, chances I guess if you want to say kitties who are more have health issues than anything,
Right.
chance is probably going to be my boy. He's had, in the course of his life that I've had him, he's had 2 different viruses that almost took him out. Plus,
Wow.
when I first got him, he had Toxidia, so he was a hot. And it
Oh
was in
my
his-
gosh.
and I didn't know what was wrong with him. I just thought he had a
Mhm.
weird purr, but I finally got him into the vet, and it was an old country vet, and he's like, "It's a good thing you brought him because he probably wouldn't have survived much longer." Well, then I was like feeling like bad pet mama, but you know,
Yeah.
right before I left to go, he developed colitis. So
Oh my
no-
gosh.
and you know, you've got multiple cats, and if you see like bloody anything, your first thought is, "Oh my God,
Who did it?
Which one?
And the blessing for me is Chance is very fluffy. He's got probably some Maine Coon in him just based on how his fur
Right.
is and
Mhm.
everything. And he happened to turn around, and all I could see was the blood on his back end.
Oh.
And so I got him in,
Yeah.
and because I didn't want to worry about my roommate trying to give him meds or anything while I was out of the country, not just out of state, not just going to the store, out of the country.
Right.
You know, I left him
Mm.
with the vet. But let me tell you something. I was a panicked woman because I'm
I
like,
believe
I
it.
am, you know, 18 hours literally away by plane.
On the
And
other
it-
side of the
I-
world.
It was awful. I mean,
We've had a number of clients whose cats got sick just before they were going on a trip. It's very strange how cats seem to time that, don't they?
I know, I know. And like with Gracie, Lou, she's still really reticent as far as,
Yeah.
I mean, I've had this cat now for, well, gosh, in August, September-ish, it's going to be 10 years.
It took you a
Um,
while to be able to touch her, isn't that right?
I
If I
still
remember
really
right. You
can't.
Wow. I have one like
of
that.
those.
My brownie's
Mhm.
like that.
If she's asleep,
Karma.
and take my hand and I'll lightly ghost it over her fur, not touch her, but just lightly ghost. And then I move my hand back, and then she'll look around like somebody touched me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Linda's
Uh-huh.
got one like that too.
And aren't you just dying to? I mean, Karma is so fluffy and so pretty, and it's like, I just want to pet you, please.
No, she's,
For the
I
love of
told her,
all things holy.
I said, one of these days I'm going to get to wuzzle you. And, but she'll come into my room and she'll stand
Yes.
right next to my bed and I'll go, do you need snacks or do you want snacks? And the next thing I know, I'm like engulfed in kitties. And when she decides she wants snacks, or like I've been here this week helping my co-author, she's trying to finish up a book, and then I'm going to take what she's doing and write my own after that. So we're collaborating without collaborating. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Up in here. And, I know when I get home tomorrow that Gracie will wind her way into the bedroom. She won't be close, but she's going to put her eyes on me.
Sure.
To make sure that mama's home. And like when I'm not around, like if I've gone shopping and I come back in, she will be up on my bed sleeping on my pillow. So I know she knows I'm her human.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
She just doesn't want to be touched, but she's a beautiful girl.
That's how Brownie is. But
so
you know what has gotten
frustrating.
my Brownie to be a little more receptive of me is we're actually recording another show in about an hour with a guy named David. How do you pronounce his last name, Linda?
I'm not sure. I need to add. It's T-E-I-E. So I don't know if it's T or Tay,
And
or I have
he does
no idea.
music to soothe cats, calm cats. And I've been playing it through my Echo Dot. And it does work. I mean, I was able to put the food bowl down in front of Brownie more times this last couple weeks than ever before. Usually she goes under the bed and waits to eat till I, leave the room.
Mm-hmm.
But she's been a lot more receptive. I used to be able to touch her a little bit. I really can't right now. But maybe more of this music will help. So
It's
you
worth
never
a shot.
know.
Yeah, music for cats, it's called. And he's a cellist with the symphony, and he raised it octaves for what cats hear better. He really put all the, I'm really excited to find out how all this connects, but to really make it so. And then he would test it out, which was very funny because he's allergic to cats. So he would go to this cat cafe, taking Benadryl first, and test it out on the cats to see the first one didn't go well, and test it out to see what they're responding to. And he really made this. Yeah. And it just de-stress them and help them. And
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So Darlene, how can people find
cool.
your books,
That's
your
what I
Mischief
was gonna
Kitties
ask.
and your romance books? How can they best find you? Do you have a website?
No, right. I've got up. They're all on Amazon under my
okay.
name. They can go into the search bar. If they go into the book section, they type in Darlene Tallman. It's going to find my. It should suggest my author page, and then they can see all of what I've got out there now.
Awesome.
The Mischief Kitty, yeah.
I'll find your author page. I like to share those things when this posts on petliferadio.com, and then also when I post it out,
put the links up.
Yeah, I like to add the links. So I'll post your author page so people can find everything.
Oh yeah.
I want to read the romance book, so I'm really excited about the kids. But I really used to love the Scholastic book fairs, and I'm looking for not the book with the ABCs or the colors, the really funny story, like Splodger, the little girl that you made a mess. It wasn't me, it was Splodger, and these kind of books. And I've had them forever, and I've been blessed with 2 grandsons because my youngest is now 16 and doesn't want to hear about whales and things. And what am I? Don't Tell Lies, Lucy. I mean, just fun, really cool stories. And I've gotten some that weren't as great. I keep them forever.
One of my favorite books, and I found it in one of the boxes and stuff. And I mean, it's a paperback. It's falling apart. Is Harriet the Spy by Margaret Fitzhugh. One of the funniest books ever that I read and as a kid. And it's funny how the books that you read as a child, when you start getting grandkids, you start getting this, that, and the other.
Yes.
You're gearing them towards that. And I think with
I'm frowning because I don't have kids.
No.
You have 4-legged babies.
Yeah,
you do. You can read to them.
I'm
telling
I
you,
could.
these books are. Yes. I can see the Mischief series as being one of my favorite. Yeah, my husband, we were cleaning out stuff, and he's like, "Well, we don't need these kids' books anymore." And I'm like, let me look at them, because some of them we do. I will keep these forever. And so then I was blessed with grandsons to start reading them too. But it's like, no, there are certain of those books that you just cannot get rid of, that are just memory makers with me and the
Some
kids.
of my friends that have read the Mischief Kitties, and their children are now junior vampire hunters.
Right.
One of the things that I love the most, one of the little girls, her name is Lily, and she's got a little orange and white cat. His name is Johnny, and her mother has sent me pictures showing her with Johnny curled up in her arms, and she's got her Mischief Kitties book, and she is reading it to the cat.
I love
That's
that.
awesome.
That is just like, so sweet. I mean, I love writing the romance. Don't get me wrong. I do.
Oh,
But
sure.
when I get those messages, like Harry has another little boy. His name is Gunnar, and he's got something called Perth's disease, which is kind of rare.
Oh,
And he's like,
Mm.
he's going to end up needing a hip replacement. It has something to do
Oh,
with the ball
poor
socket.
kid.
wow. I've never
And
heard of that before.
he had to
Wow.
go to the Shriners Hospital, and so Harry decided, because Harry likes to one click and spend mama's money, because that's just what he does.
Of course.
He bought a bunch of snacks and different odds and ends and everything. He sent a care package to Gunner from from Aunt Liberty and Aunt Darlene, but Harry put his name all over it.
I love it. I love
We're
it.
gonna have to get the Mischief Kitties for your grandboys.
Yes.
That's already in my head.
I
Yes.
do. I do.
Uh-huh,
I can see it.
uh-huh.
Well,
And they love to read. They've
Harry
got
has no
cats.
problems with making. He calls them their travel investigation kits, and we've got a little notebook that has investigation journal. He usually puts in a squirt bottle for the water with holes. He puts in a small thing of Play-Doh, because it reminds him of gushy foods, because you got to be able to play. A snack. What else does he put in there? Oh, glow sticks, because you got to hunt vampires at night.
Oh, right. So you have to be able to see
Oh,
where you're going.
that makes
Exactly.
perfect
So,
sense.
I usually when I sell the books at book signings, they get a one of those to go with it, their own travel investigation kit.
I love
Um,
it. That's
Oh
so
yeah, I'm on
cute.
illustrating and like the vacation one. I'm waiting, and I got to get with Cherry so we can finish it up, because I found miniature beach balls, and I found little pails, and I thought, oh, I could put like cute little snacks and stuff in there.
Oh, I love
snacks
that.
giveaway if I bought them.
Well, I'm
That's
looking
so
forward to
cool.
the next one. I need to read the other ones that I haven't read yet. And
Can't fix our chicken. Yes, Harry is.
we ended up talking about a lot of different things. This was great though. I love it. I
It's all
love
cat related. I mean, Little
It is.
Robot, you need to sponsor
Ye-
them. They've got plenty of kitties. Fresh Step, you need to sponsor them. They got
you
plenty
got
of kitties.
that.
And
Yep.
because man, you could be a testimony right there between with Little Robot and that. I've got this many
No
kitties,
doubt.
and maybe having somebody walk into your house that is more sensitive than others and going,
Yeah.
really?
I don't smell
You said you had this many cats, but and I see them, but I'm not,
Yeah.
My
I
home
don't
vet
smell
came
'em.
into my house and he thought, I thought I would smell something, but I really don't smell anything. But it takes a lot of work. And I
Yeah.
think the litter robots will help, because I'm scooping all day long.
Well, and we're getting older. It's not as easy to bend over and scoop as it was
I know.
in the
I
day.
turned 60 this year. It's really scary.
I'm going to be 58 at the end of the month. Trust me.
Ugh. Yeah, I'll be
It's a
54 next month. So yeah.
Oh, you're just a babe.
Oh,
54.
yeah.
I don't
We're all
feel like a
trying and
baby.
holding.
I wish
I'm
yeah, that's it. I'm 29. 29, I tell you, 29.
I would love to have you back on again.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Especially when things are right with the world again and you're traveling, I'd love to be able to tell people where you're going, where they can meet you.
Oh yeah, that'd
Um,
be awesome.
Any last words
Ohio.
for our other cat lovers out there?
I would say adopt, don't shop, volunteer,
Yes.
because the rescues
Yes.
are in dire need. And if you're going through your stuff and because this is the time of the year where people go, you know what, I need new towels, and they're ditching their old ones, donate them to the shelters.
Oh, they need, yeah.
They need
Towels,
food right now.
blankets, all of
Towels,
those
blankets,
things.
extra food. Like I mean, I hate to say it like this, but you have an animal that passes or whatever, and you've got all their food. They might not take the open ones, but there's strays all the time. Put
Yeah.
bowls out on your porch and leave some
Yep.
food and water out for the strays.
Yep.
Right.
And take the closed stuff up that's sealed. Take it to the shelters, because
Yeah.
these
I have
babies-
some stuff I need to take now because my cats decided they don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
well, that's one of the things I love, is because I do the Chewy.com subscription.
Yes.
So
do too.
everybody has a auto ship.
Yep.
And when I started organizing my house, you probably saw my message or my post, Rita, where we opened up all the Chewy boxes finally. I have so many, and I'm spelling it here just because it's a habit, SNACKS for the cats. That we're
My
covered for
garage is filled with Chewy boxes. I need somebody to come here and break them all down for me because
Yep.
I can't keep up with them. Yeah.
I have a chick that lives, I mean, she got me organized. I think I shared a picture either in my reader group or on my page of all the boxes once we emptied them, and how you couldn't even see my front porch. All you could see was boxes.
My
And the
garage.
husband had-
My car's not in my garage right now.
It needs to be.
I know.
2-car garage full of Chewy boxes. Sorry, no room for the car.
I know. Well, I don't have my good cars anymore. I had to get rid of them. So I have a 14-year-old. So she's fine outside.
Oh, poor
Anyway,
thing.
thank you for being with us.
Yes,
You're welcome.
Darlene. This is great.
I'll let you know as soon as this is live. It'll probably be
Oh,
a
yeah,
couple
because I'll
weeks.
share the link.
Definitely. And then a couple weeks after that, then we'll put the video on my YouTube. So we'll reshare that. So
Awesome.
Linda Hall, as always, thank you for being my co-hostess with the mostest.
My pleasure, truly.
And Mark Winter, our awesome producer on Pet Life Radio, who gave us this chance to have our podcast.
Yes.
Thank you as always. And remember, what do I always say?
Every day is Catter Day.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all.
Oh.